And can we please have silence and limit the chattering? Thank you.
I'm with the program, Barbara. Where's he going?
Only delegates and alternates, and substituting for a delegate, can sit in the designated area. Others, please sit where the residents are supposed to sit, over there, to my left. Thank you. Bertha, do we have a quorum? 48, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to call the meeting to order and call on Alan Perlman, approval for the previous minutes.
The minutes of the previous meeting were published in the Cobrua Reporter. Has anyone found any omissions, corrections, or additions to those printed minutes?
Okay, Mel?
We had to stand up.
Well, stand up.
Don't tell me what to do. Milton Fishberger, Cornwall. There was a date that was incorrect. You had it, first service contract expires October 31st, not the 1st.
Anyone else?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I just want to announce that starting today, there's going to be a new agenda item added to our monthly meeting, being under old business from the residents. The purpose is to answer questions from residents that were asked but not answered at the last month's meeting. And with that, just want to continue the President's report. The Planning and Zoning and Building Department will be making a presentation on January the 27th. You may want to mark your calendars at 10 a.m. in our Clubhouse Theater. The presentation will be on permits and regulations, contractors regulations, and code compliance. Where we did have a presentation last year from them, and it was well received. However, we thought we would have a second presentation to provide the snowbirds and other people who didn't have an opportunity to see it to take advantage of this as well. Questions and answers will take place, and literature will be given out. And Maria Sachs, the Palm Beach County Commissioner, will be making opening remarks. Thank you. I want to call on the Election Commissioner Chairman, Felix, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, Felix, Wadich, to give election update for Cobrua and Cobra before and other reports.
Good morning. My name is Felix Wadich. I'm the Election Committee Chairman. There will be an election March 11, 2025 for 3 positions on the M&O Committee. Anyone wishing to run can be nominated from the floor at the February 11th delegate meeting. In order to be eligible to run for the position of an M&O, committee members, a candidate at the time of election must be a permanent resident of Century Village who is a unit owner of record. A permanent resident is defined as a person who has resided at Century Village West for at least 9 months in the preceding calendar year and be either a member of the executive board or a director of constituents member condominium association of Cobrua. Candidate may put a statement in the March paper. It must be emailed to editor.cobrua@aol.com no later than February 11 by the end of business day. There is a 300-word limit. Scans, PDF, hard copies, or caps will not be accepted. All candidates will be given 3 minutes to speak at the March 11 meeting before voting begins. There are 5 candidates for the 3 open position for the M&O committee. The election slates in alphabetic order are Martin Fish, David Fisher, Mark Hoffman, Lynn Roberts, and Stanley Siegel. Thank you. We also have an election. My name is Felix Wadish again. I am the election committee chairman. There will be an election for the Cobrua Group Board of Directors on February 11, 2025, to fill 3 available positions. Anyone planning to run who has not turned in a declaration of intent to run for office can be nominated from the floor at this meeting. In order to be eligible to run for the position of the Cobrua, a candidate at the time of election must be a permanent resident of Century Village West who is a unit owner of record. A permanent resident is defined as a person who has resided at Century Village West at least 9 months in the preceding calendar year and is either a member of the executive board or director of the constituents members condominium association of Cobrua. The following candidates have filed their intent for the Cobrua Group: Martin Fish, Caroline Haynes. Do we have any nomination from the floor for the Cobrua director? Could you please, your name?
My name is Susan Meltzer. I would like to nominate Free Spiro of Norman.
I'm waiting for a second.
Can't hear her.
One moment, I'm waiting for a second. Bring it.
My name is Susan Meltzer. I would like to nominate Frida Spiro of Yarmouth.
Behind you, Bertha.
Anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Dave Fisher of Fancher. Dave Fisher of Fancher for Cobra.
You have to take them down.
Caroline is taking that.
Thank you.
So we have 2 dots here. So that's only 2 delegates, okay. The nominations are now closed. If a candidate wants to put a statement in the paper, your deadline is today, January 14. Your statement must be emailed to the Cobrua office either in the body of an email or an attachment Word document under 300 words. PDF, all caps, handwritten, or scans will not be accepted. There will be no exceptions. If there's any question of the format, call Maggie at the Cobrua office 561-487-0222 before 1:30 p.m. today. Thank you.
Thank you, Felix, appreciate it. Lynn, would you do the treasurer's report, please? I'll think.
Thank you. The month-ending balance in our checking account is $19,303. Our CG is $28,760 for a total of $48,064. Last month's balance was $48,125. Any questions? Thank you.
Stanley, will you do the M&O committee report, please?
Good morning, Happy New Year. The committee met Wednesday, December 18th. Present was Judy Milton, the Vice President and Site Administrator, Monica Wells, Senior VP, CFO for Senville, Abby Koffler, Entertainment, Dan Cruz, Regional Facilities Manager. 6 members of the committee were present. Dan mentioned the fact that a number of committee members went to the Lake Worth Drainage District office to listen to how they operate. They spoke about controlling the water flows in the canals, how they check on the weirs to see if they need any repairs. And they also mentioned the fact that when they feel the weir should be open, it is not mandatory, but each association that has a weir can do it on their own, but it is not mandatory. When the buses were working out of the rear of the building, there was excess moisture getting into the ceramics room and the card room. Therefore, these rooms have to be cleaned up, and an air conditioning unit was moved in. Temporarily, these rooms are closed for, public consumption. We had some problems last month with the sound system. I know a number of people were yelling out it was the microphones. Actually, it wasn't the microphones. The system is old. It takes care of the clubhouse and the, alerting people in case there's some danger. And personally, I'd like to thank everyone who contributed batteries, even though we didn't need them. The landscaping in front of the clubhouse will start sometime this month, and we hope to get it done as quickly as possible. We'll be moving some lights around, and the fountain will have some new lights added to it. The color of the clubhouse is still under review. It was suggested that you check the building at Tover to see their color, which is in the gray family, and see how that looks. As we spoke before, the pickleball courts will be moved from the New England area to the clubhouse area. 3 tennis courts will be converted into pickleball courts, which will give them 8 playing courts now. The tennis courts will be moved over to New England and take the place of where the pickleball courts are now. One tennis court is remaining at the clubhouse area so they can play at night, whoever is interested. Attendance at the movies have been rather weak, and effective in April, we're going to have 2 movies shown on Sunday, 1:45 and 7:45, and 1 movie on Thursday at 7:45. If closed captions is available, it'll be on the Sunday showings. Decals for friends and families have increased to about 132 sales. Decals for aids, which are optional, the regulations have been approved and refined, and if they want to have a decal, it'll be renewable every 3 months for $15. Sale of units, as you know, have slowed down for the last year or so. Hopefully it'll be picking up in the near future. Payment booklets will be reviewed, and to see that not all of them will be going out to people who do not need them. If you have an automatic payment, you don't really need a coupon book, so management is reviewing that. Due to insurance requirements and safety issues, personal chairs will not be allowed at the tennis and pickleball courts. Only approved benches can be used, and we'll be reviewing to see if we need more benches. Effective January 6th, which of course is passed, only credit cards will be used for the vending machines. And on a final note, Century Village is on 2 FPL grids. One takes care of basically the Lions Road area, another takes care of the back area where the turnpike is. FPL, if they need to move power, has the authority to do it. Keep in mind that the paramedic stations and the medical and the hospitals have their own generators, so they do not lose power. And as soon as FPL feels that they can restore it in other areas back into our areas, they will do it. But they have carte blanche on how to control it. Any questions regarding the report?
Martin Fish from Rexford. So a few weeks ago when the Cobrua reporter reported that there would be a $17 raise monthly, and one of the issues was having to do work on the weirs. So the first thing I had to do was go to the dictionary and find out what a weir was. So today I am finding out, and I'm still not 100% sure how all this works, but today you just mentioned that the various associations have control on whether they want to open the weirs or not open the weirs. So as president and a board member for, this will be my 4th year already, this is news to me, and I don't know how this works, and I wouldn't be surprised if many other presidents, this is all news to us. So what I would like is that if we have this power, this authority, how do we exercise it? Why should we exercise it? I think it would be good to set up a meeting with management so that they can explain this to us. This is an issue, maybe I'm interjecting another issue that's not part of the M&O, but it's sort of the same issue. As you know, Stanley, I texted you this morning again. We have no internet service at our pool. There's no signal. You can't even see it. It's not a weak signal. So at one time, I asked, can I speak to the tech representative from Xfinity? And I have no doubt that you're 100% on the job. But each individual association signs a separate contract with Xfinity, as did Rexford. And when
Martin, with all due respect to your dialogue,
well, it's a monologue, but I'll accept it.
the question you should be asking is regarding my report. If you have any comment on any other subject, keep it for good and welfare, please.
Okay. So on the weirs, I think that people would like to know what's involved technically and maybe get some background.
The weir, if your lake is high and we feel, and the Lake Worth drainage gives you permission, don't forget it's voluntary still on our part, to lower the water. That's the purpose of the weir. You open it up and it allows water to flow out. That's the purpose of the weir. And our staff takes care of the weir.
Yeah, but he said that it was an association issue.
Different association on the outside. When I meant association, I stand corrected. I didn't mean associations of Century Village. I meant outside associations or different corporations or different HOAs.
Okay, thank you.
In regard to the pickleball courts,
Yes, sir.
I would recommend or please ask that the existing pickleball courts not be closed until the new ones are up.
Well, we're waiting for the contractor to say when they can do the,
When-
so we're not gonna close anything.
Well,
Everything
whatever that
remains as is, status
Fine.
quo.
Please provide your name when you have a question. Thank you.
Diana Stillwell, Cornwall. Thank you, Stanley, for giving us more details of what's happening with the pickleball courts. My suggestion would be, I know it's not tennis or pickleball to decide, but once the new pickleball courts are built, I would suggest that the old ones stay there maybe for a year, evaluate the usage and see if there's a greater need to keep them as pickleball courts. We have a number of people each year adding. We have clinics each week. We have 20, 30 people there. It would be possible to have the existing pickleball courts for family members, for visitors, for... The reason behind that is because people are finding it difficult to find a time to play. Anyway, I'm just suggesting that they evaluate how much the courts are used and maybe put off replacing the existing pickleball courts. The other thing is, as far as the seating, we had a tournament there this past Saturday and Sunday. The seating really isn't adequate for the visiting team that comes there. We left them open for them, but the rest of us are standing. So, and also I hope you take into consideration proper seating with the new pickleball courts here. Just a suggestion.
I think I mentioned in my report that we're reviewing to see if we need more benches to accommodate the people.
Okay.
So far, the pickleball and tennis clubs are satisfied with the change that we're making, and we'll review it at the end of the year to see what has to be done, if anything is needed.
Okay, because I just hate to see you replace those pickleball courts and then down the road find that, oh, well, we really should have kept them because the tennis courts aren't being used as much. So I'm just putting that out there.
We're
Okay?
not going to start a civil war.
No, absolutely not. Wouldn't want that.
That's it? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Stanley, Community Affairs, please.
Actually, right now, there's nothing more to report. The only thing I will say is the traffic is getting heavier. GL Homes is going to be opening up some of their new homes right across from the high school, so traffic is going to be a little worse. My only suggestion is you contact the West Boca Community Council and ask them to see if we can get a opening on Palmetto Park Road for the turnpike. We've been asking this for years, but so far it hasn't been successful. If more people complain about the traffic, maybe that would help. Also, the West Boca Council is having a meeting tonight in the Bert Aronson Park, which is down Yamato Road.
Stanley, do you have anything for Comcast?
No, we're just trying to rectify some problems we have with Wi-Fi at the pools. And it seems that the Wi-Fi is working, it's the people are not connecting properly, but I'll speak to the rep again, because she keeps telling me that the signals are pretty good, it's just the people who are operating it, so we have to resolve that issue.
Okay, Martin Fish from Rexford. So, as I explained, I went over with my iPhone. I stood directly under whatever equipment was there. And although I could at least find weak signals of everybody's internet, private internet connection, there's no signal. It's not a weak signal. It just doesn't register. It's not a question of how people are working it. So the other issue I wanted to address, it's not a criticism of you. It's that we do sign our individual contract, and sometimes when things don't get done, people want to say, why can't I talk directly to the people from Xfinity, and it has to go always through a committee? I understand I might not get anything more done, but maybe it gets it through their head that there's dissatisfaction. And they ran into this problem beforehand by losing a lot of people. And we've learned this from the internet and cable companies. We learned this through the insurance company. Ultimately, you run into problems if the presidents and the boards cannot at least convey their concerns directly and always have to run through someone else, although I know you're always on top of things. So that's just my concern. But it's not a question of misuse. The signal does not exist in Rexford, period.
Is there anything else?
That's not the track person.
But you can contact, well, did you call Fort Myers?
Okay,
Send a computer.
okay. No private conversations here. If you have a question, you raise your hand, and you'll have an opportunity. Okay, Regina, is there somebody else over there? Okay, Regina, do you have a report on Hotwire? You guess?
Just make something up.
We have signals at our pools. No, I'm kidding.
Can you stand up? Can you stand up?
Yes, Hotwire has had a few problems. We've related that to we've escalated everything up to upper management in Fort Lauderdale. There's a 561 office number for people here to call that are having issues with their Hotwire. You can text me. I will get a hold of upper management for any complaints. I just can't take phone calls all day long. If you text me, I will escalate your issue. I promise we will get it handled. There's going to be new numbers posted at all the Hotwire buildings for the weekend. It seems to me that most of the problems that are unresolved, it's because of a lack of phones and manpower on the weekends, and Hotwire promised to remedy that situation. So you can text me, you can call the 561 office number. Fran is always there. If she's on the other line or with a client, it will roll over to another live person during the week. If it's after hours, it'll roll over to the 800 customer care service. Any other issues beyond that, I can't help you unless you text me with your name, your address, your issue, and we will strive to get it resolved. Okay? Any questions?
One other thing, they also have an 800 number they gave me the other day.
Yes.
So they have a 561 and 800.
Well, that's what they were saying. There was a glitch with 800. That's why they asked for now to please stay with the 561 local number.
If you have any connections on the football game in the last 2 minutes, tell them not to load video. That's the best part of the game.
Oh. Well, okay. Okay, my number, 386-852-8535. I'm Regina Apicella. I'm also president of Guilford. But if you text me name, number, issue, I will have somebody from Hotwire on it, for now, okay? Yes?
Can you please give us the phone number, the 561 number?
Please stand up and provide your name, where you're from.
I am Lana in Guilford. Right. Just, you keep saying the 561 number, so can you give us that number, please?
Okay, this is Fran, the office right here at the temple, behind the temple, 561-208-3326. All the numbers will be posted very shortly at their buildings.
Is there any other questions here for Hotwire? Okay, Regina, while you were standing, I was telling you not to sit yet. Yeah, you can do the report for the elevators, that would be good.
The elevators are having the cylinders installed association by association. Suffolk is undergoing their installation now, and Exeter, to my knowledge, is all done and complete. We did come through some problems with Exeter being the first one. The cylinders are new. They had packing. Some of the packing from the manufacturer was faulty. Tri-State has remedied that situation. We have a new vendor for the packing. So far, there's no more issues with hydraulic oil leaks. And with the elevators, what they're calling is cavitating. Cavitating is when the elevator is on the rise, it starts shaking, rock and rolling, maybe at the third floor, going to the fourth. That is a sign that you need hydraulic oil. So you can call your director to call elevated, or just call Oracle's number directly, okay? Now, right now in Suffolk, D and F buildings have passed inspection last Friday. Right now, this week, E and G are going on. Friday should tell the story if they passed inspection. If everything is a go, Monday, January 20th, Guilford A and B will begin. And this is how we'll do it going forward. 2 buildings a week, but both buildings will be down for the week. And Friday tells the complete story with the inspection at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Friday, if all is well. The only time that the elevator will be closed on a weekend is if a mishap happened during the inspection on Friday. And we will take those problems as they show up. Okay, so Exeter done, Suffolk in the making, Guilford is next. We work with First Service. They will robocall, they will blast email. We will post the buildings all over so people are well apprised of when their elevator will be down. But please know, if you're in Guilford A or B next week, your elevators will be down, okay? Any questions on the elevator, Leah?
Hi, I'm Leah Green. I'm Leah Green from First Service Residential. I just want to add one thing. We try not to post the building too far in advance because we may run into issues, to Regina's point, with the inspection, and we do not want to have to renotice the building. We had to do that in Suffolk a couple times, and it caused a lot of confusion. We will try, by way of the director, to get you aware maybe 3 weeks out, but the building probably won't be posted until officially like 2 weeks out because of that scheduling issue. We don't want to keep changing the dates on the postings because residents tend to get confused or not know which posting to look at. But I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah, for really and truly keeping us organized during all these projects. First Service has worked with this committee and the elevator people, Tri-State and Oracle.
Regina, behind you. Hi. Yes. I'm not sure whether it's a follow-up to what you were saying, but I think even though we wouldn't know exactly when the next association is going to be worked on, people do want to know whether it's going to be in June or December. So I think we should have some type of information that says we don't know the exact dates, but this is the order that they're going in, so that people have some idea. For example, Ainsley, people asking me in Ainsley, when are we going to get the elevator work done? And the last time we had a listing that showed that, we knew it was wrong. The Oracle was going to come out with a new list, but I haven't seen that yet. I think it would be appropriate to get that.
We are still working with Oracle to get an updated list. We will make the directors aware of the listing and the time frame, maybe a month or two time frame. And we'll give the list out, I believe me and Regina spoke about 6 up to 8 weeks in advance to the association's boards. But yeah, we'll give the list out to everybody just to let you know. We're still waiting for it ourselves from Oracle to get an updated list, because the holidays and the 2 elevators that we had issue with that pushed back the time frame, elections also pushed back the time frame. So we haven't received the updated list, but we are working with John.
Just people would like an idea of when it's going to be there. Thank you.
Hi, Helen Baker, Suffolk F. I just want to know when in the process the approval and the certification is done. I'm in F. They have been working since last Friday, and you made it sound like it was done. It's not. So when do they get the approval and the certification, and when can we use the elevators again?
I have 2 things, Regina. The F building, they finished yesterday. Today they started the E, but there was no approval on the F building.
I was told yesterday at a meeting that D and F were completed and passed inspection last Friday.
Well, just so you
And
know, the
passing
elevator's not
inspection.
working.
F is down?
All week since last Friday.
That was not what I was told. So thank you for the info. I will get back to you, Richard.
I have one question. Possibly, maybe it was inspected and something had to be
Adjusted. That could be. But no, I was told by the head honcho that D and F last Friday were passed. E and G will pass this Friday. But as far as certification goes, that's paperwork that takes longer. But once it passes inspection, the elevator is working. They will tell us, Oracle turns the elevator back on, and you're allowed to use it. If F is down, I'll get Richard, I'll have them this afternoon.
I have one other suggestion. The workers had complained, and I understand where they're coming from. They did the A building, the B building, the C building. It's too long of a walk for them to go back and forth to their equipment, to the building with this heavy parts and apparatus. They requested in Suffolk that 5 or 6 spots be barricaded with cones close to the building, that they can work quicker and get done quicker. I don't know if all associations, but maybe only in the 3-story, they're very long, and it really helped. They're doing it somewhat quicker.
I'll be
They're
doing
walking all the way wherever, and bring the cylinders, bring the cans, so maybe you could think about.
No, I already, for Guilford, talked to them about a staging area. Having gone through it with Hotwire, we're kind of,
Good.
prone to know that we have to evacuate 6 or 7 spots right in front, and I will have right across from there 4 guest spots for them.
Thank you.
Okay, but that's a good point, and I'll let them know. Maybe first service.
Can you add to that? We do plan, based off your conversation, Richard, with me yesterday regarding that. Richard, we do plan going forward to 2 days prior to their expected arrival date. We'll block off spots in the next building. I just don't want to do it too far in advance because we are taking some guest spots, but we could be taking resident spots as well. So we want to try to narrow down the time frame that we'll be using those spots. So 2 days prior, we'll put poles in place so that we barricade it off.
Okay, and I'll find out about F. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Yes, hi, Rob Friedman at Preston I. I just want to mention that.
Please stand up.
Yeah, yes. I was a physical therapist for many years, and I'm just thinking ahead. I was a physical therapist for many years, and I'm thinking ahead of people who cannot get out of the building or get down the stairs, what kind of a list we could put together for able-bodied people to be in touch constantly with those people if they need something desperately.
Well, technically, that's where your in-house director, your board, and volunteers will come. Ted had a very good program at Exeter. I'm sure Richard had people involved. I know Guilford, we have a team ready to help get mail, help people up with groceries.
Great,
We'll,
thank you.
you know, talk to your neighbors. It's all volunteer.
Okay, and thank you for your work too.
Okay. Anyone else? I'm sitting down now.
Thank you, Regina, appreciate it, it's a good report. Milt, oh, sorry, we have another question, I'm sorry.
Hello, friend. My name is Alvin. I'm with Pain Shop. Excuse me, I have asthma. Out of curiosity, not any of this, if there's an interruption on this, how long will they cover this issue of directors at Khalid? The elevators. As far as,
How long will it take?
no, how long will it be covering the new part? The warranty on it.
Oh, exactly, I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that'd be something. Thank you.
Okay, Milt Search Committee.
I'm Milton Fishberger. I've spoken about the Management Search Committee at prior meetings. The latest update is that next week on the, is it the 19th, Susan? First one is the 19th? Or is it 21st? I forget. 21st and then the 23rd and the 24th. So all of next week, the presidents will have an opportunity to meet with the 3 different companies that will be interviewed as possibilities for managing the management, basically, of all of your associations. Any questions? Regina.
Regina at the Cell in Guilford. Is it still recommended or allowed that each president can bring somebody to the presentation of the...
Yes.
Yes? One person? Okay.
The meetings will take place, by the way, in the music room. I've sent you all, but I'll send a reminder out to the presidents again, giving the times and the dates, but they're all will be in the music room, which should be able to accommodate a president and another person, okay?
Any more questions? Oh, I'm sorry, the audience will be during good and welfare, I'm sorry. Okay, Ted, Bylaws Committee?
Microphone, please.
Thank you, and Charlie, please don't ask me to stand because I already am. For those of you can't, I apologize for having my back of my head to you, but I'm the guy with the American flag. If you see me later, I'll be open to all questions. We do not have a report for this meeting, but please expect a full report at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Okay, Sid, would you do the Cobra report, please? The group.
Good morning. As of a Cobra organizational meeting yesterday, I am again the president of Cobra, and thus I'll be the one reporting to you each month. As my very first official act, I want to thank Carolyn for her leadership in moving the 2028 project forward. The presidency is a lot of hard work, and I know that from experience. Thank you, Carolyn. The date is set for our annual community informational meeting with our attorneys. The date is April 4th at 10 a.m. in our theater. The meeting is open to all residents, and we do hope for a big turnout. As we've done in the past, there will be a Q&A at the end, so everyone will get a chance to ask their questions. We understand the question on most of your minds is, what will the buyout cost me personally? For professional guidance, Cobra recently retained a financial consultant to gather and analyze the deal, the various options for financing it, and then putting those options into understandable layman's language for us. Since the consultant is newly retained and first gathering data now, we're not sure he will have anything ready to present at the meeting. So I will just have to keep you up to date on that, and I will follow up with it. If he does have data, he will be at the meeting with the attorneys. Turning to another subject, the board has been asked to present more information on the current financial condition of Cobra. We have always printed in the reporter the minutes of our quarterly board meeting, which contains the treasurer's report. So you've always had all the numbers. If you want numbers more often than quarterly, our treasurer, Mona Lloyd, and I will be glad to present the bank and CD balances at the monthly delegates meetings. Cobra's fiscal year ends March 31st, so we have put in the next Cobrua Reporter the statement for the year ended March 31, 2024, and will publish the year end March 31, 2025 in the April or May paper, depending upon when we get those figures from the accountant. By the way, Cobra uses the same accountant as most of you presidents do, and you're already familiar with his work and work ethic. Mona couldn't be here today, but she did give me the numbers for the month ending December 31st, and I have them here for you. Our checking account has a balance of $75,103. We have a CD for $51,678 and a second CD for $20,000. Our total assets as of December 31st are $146,782. And That is my report for today. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Good report. Okay, security report. Chief Jody, please.
Good morning, my name is Jody with United Security, and I'm presenting the monthly report for December 2024. For miles patrol, we had 4,599, pre-authorized calls 7,676, contractor 728, elevator rescue or malfunction, we had 6, we had 5 auto accidents, 14 welfare checks, 2 fires. We had 65 IDs confiscated, 28 for the clubhouse, and 37 for the gates. Any questions?
Yes, sir, boss. My name's Alvin, I'm a financial. How many people go through that gate a month? I know all these other numbers. Been running them for years.
We've done a calculation before with ABDI, and for the month we had over 7,000 in and out. That includes residents and guests.
Okay, thank you.
Elaine Harris, Hythe Association. I'm not sure where this question goes, so I'm going to start here. There was an incident on January 2nd here in the party room where one group that was in that section having a few tables told another group of a couple of tables that they couldn't be over here. I wondered if there's where is the policy, what is the policy of use of the party room, as it's the only place in the clubhouse that allows food? Both parties were having food.
One party was booked for the party room, the other wasn't. So we did take it up with Miss Judy and she stepped in. But the party room was booked that day for one of the parties only.
I'm confused. If this group is using 4 tables over there, I can't come in with 3 people and sit over here and eat a sandwich?
I'm not sure how many were reserved. Information does that, so you would have to speak with them.
I have a question into Judy I've yet to hear an answer, but more so I'm concerned knowing that everybody should know what's the rules. Can any group stop us, any owner, resident, ID holder, from using this room?
As I explained, information desk, when they book it based on how many tables were reserved. We won't know until...
I don't understand your answer. I'm sorry. If I want to come in and I have 3 people with me, we're going to use 1 table. So could somebody who's using some tables take over the entire room?
It depends on what was booked, but for the most part, no. Just like the Tiki Hut gets reserved, this room also can get reserved, and that was...
To the exclusion of everyone else?
Yes.
And everybody's known that? That's news to me.
Well, based on what they told me, that's why Ms. Judy stepped in. She stated that they shouldn't have been able to. It was already reserved for someone else. I'm not sure the percentage of people.
Again,
Eileen.
I'm not following.
How large was that second group? How many people?
9 people.
9 people is a group. I think if you come...
I'm sorry, Sid, where are you identifying 9 people as a group? 9 people can be 1 table.
9 people is a group. That's my opinion.
Oh, your opinion. Okay.
I think if one person comes in and brings their sandwich and wants to sit down and eat in a corner, there's no problem with it. But again, I don't think it's up to Jody to answer your question. I think it has to go to Judy.
Again, the question has gone to Judy on January 3rd. I have yet to get an answer.
I'm sure you will get an answer.
I'll
Thank you for the question.
talk to Judy about that.
Thank you.
Good morning, Judy. Last month, there was a problem with the gate call-in. There was an issue that we called in and it stopped us from recording, and it became an issue for our friends. Happens to be Christmas, Hanukkah, and there was an issue with people coming in. Gate call-in wasn't working. How does that work out?
ADEDI received a work order and they were able to fix it. Once we're aware, we do email them and let them know the issue.
Is there an alternative way to reach the gate? Could we have that information?
You can call the number and speak with the guards there.
Thank you.
Just Rob Friedman at Preston I. Just it's been backing up pretty badly at the gate too. Is there any way of speeding it or somehow? Because people are all back on the highway, people are trying to make the turn, cutting in and out of there. It's getting a little crazy. And all the developments have that. I know.
Yeah, that issue is ongoing. Residents, if their guests come to the gate, they're not on the list, we're gonna pull them over. If their guest is not called in, if we're calling the residents, those are the issues that we're having.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Helen Squire Cornwall. I just want to thank you, because given how many people come in here and all the traffic, you people are phenomenal, and thank you.
Thank you.
We can't go out to them. I just wanted to compliment Kay, the security guard at the front door. It's always a pleasure, and she welcomes you in.
Thank you. Any other questions?
One here. You start your talk with a whole list of items, and then there's a dozen questions that have nothing to do with the items that you talk about first. I've spoken to you about it before. I would think if you cut that down, but if you're the top 5 of them, but if you say this is what happened this month and last month for that item.
Yeah, we plan to start it this year. I spoke with Ms. Judy, she said go ahead.
Yeah, we should be doing that. People can understand why 13 is important or 92 is important too.
Right, we'll be starting it for the next report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you, Jody, for your report.
Richard Diamond, Suffolk. Judy, I've mentioned this many times. For the longest time, people complain, oh, the security's terrible, the security's horrible. Now that they do such a wonderful, wonderful job, the complaint is the lines. You can't have it both ways. I commend you and all the security people. They are doing an excellent job. I've walked in and out so many times.
Thank you, thank you. Any other questions?
Good morning, Deborah at Mansfield. I was wondering, Jody, what is the vetting or screening process for the employees at the front gate? Because you know that I've personally had an issue, and in fact somebody was fired because of how they handled something. And I also don't know whether I'm supposed to be calling the front gate at times or calling directly to the security desk. So if you could inform me and educate me on this, I would appreciate it.
Well, what would you be wanting to call about that plays a factor as far as what exactly?
The call that I put in was when car alarm.
Alarm, yes, I remember you.
Yeah. Yes. So that was one particular.
Whichever one you're comfortable with. If you want to call the back desk or the gates, it's up to you. Whichever one you're comfortable with. So the rover will be contacted after that. But as I did say to you, me and Annalise as well, we appreciated the fact that you brought it to our attention, and that's why we did come to that decision when it came to that guard, because unless you guys let us know, a lot of times we won't know, you know, so we do appreciate that.
Thank you. So the protocol then, if a car alarm is going off, the protocol from the security car should be to stop to see who the car belongs to.
Check the decal. We can check in the system if the ID office is open. Gina will check for us as well. And we can contact the resident and let them know their alarm is going off.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, we're going to do old business. Is there any old business? No? Okay. Okay, so we're going to... There is, okay.
You don't stand up and raise your hand so we can see you. Thank you.
Mark Hoffman, Newcastle. Stan, you've met on all the new business. Color being considered as gray for the building. I would strongly recommend against that. The buildings here that were painted gray look so institutional. Battleship gray went out in World War II.
Noted on the record. The president of Suffolk would like to say something. That's Mr. Gray. I
know there's been objections about the rest of the clubhouse being painted. The bricks went out years ago. If you ride around and you look at different communities that change their colors to gray, and all new buildings are in the gray families. The brown, the beige, the tan is 1980. It would improve the value of our properties, modernize the clubhouse. And another correction is, as far as the synagogue, somebody had mentioned at a previous meeting, the bricks are stucco. They're not all stucco. Some of the original bricks, when it was the first clubhouse, they were that brick red. Open up your eyes and look around. We're trying to improve the values of the community, attract more people. Look at other communities. They went to grays.
No screaming out, please. You have something to say, wait to good and welfare. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, we're moving on, okay? Okay, so there's no other old business, right? Okay, so we're going to go on to the new category from the agenda, old business from the residents, where we're going to answer a few questions that were brought up last month that we had to research and get the correct answer. So I'm going to go over that right now. Okay. So this was a question from a resident at Fanshawe. The light on the road between Exeter and Guildford has not worked from May 2024. This part of the road is very dark because buildings around the pond are dark and windows having no lights, I'm sorry. This part of the road is very dangerous, and we've had car accidents with drivers who have been hurt. Because of the darkness, it is a problem for people to walk in the evening on the pedestrian sidewalk and for drivers who drive. So that is the question. So the resolution is, this was submitted to SendWest. An email was sent to FPL in December about some lights that were out, and they had made a ticket repair. They have updates, and they have updated us that they are running behind due to the hurricane, and will have had them fixed as soon as possible. That answers that one question. I have a second question. Okay, second question was from someone at Cornwall. My bicycle was stolen from the bicycle storage area.
Excuse me, that is an association problem. That does not belong here.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we're going to move forward. Okay, any new business at all?
Larry Levine, Brighton Sea. A number of us in the last couple of weeks received a packet in the mail with repairs that could be done or should be done. It's not really clear. I have some questions in respect to that. Number one, how much did that packet cost us and who paid for it? Number two, there was no indication as to what we were getting ourselves into as far as the costs down the road. If you looked at the report and you had the ability to look at the report from different associations, some of it seemed a little bit redundant. In other words, what happens in Building C in Brighton, you could look at Building A in Yarmouth and have the same thing show up. So I'm a little concerned as to what we're getting ourselves into and what the cost is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. I'm going to ask Leah from First Service to address that question.
The package that he received, all unit owners will most likely receive, is going to receive this packet. It's the necessary, it's the milestone inspection that's now required by the state of Florida. We have to mail it to each unit owner. The question regarding redundancy, there's going to be most likely a phase 2 of your inspection, which might have a deeper understanding of your particular building. The overall purpose of the milestone inspection is to check the safetiness of your buildings because of what happened during Surfside. I will speak to the engineer regarding your concerns. I suggest also that you speak to your board or your director. Put your concerns in writing and we'll get the answer from the engineering professional. If you believe that it's redundancy on one association compared to the other. We don't know how he derived his resolution regarding the milestone, but we can also have a meeting with your board and the engineer record to iron that out and put your concerns at bay. And a particular association's concerns at bay, I should say. And the mailing is paid for by the particular association. It's not a Cobrua matter.
Okay, you raise your hand and... Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Am I understanding this correctly, that at some point, people from Ainsley are going to get a report on what's going on with Yarmouth or Guilford?
Your particular association and what we're gonna try.
We got it already, Leah, remember?
Yes, you did, but other associations are just now getting it. You were ahead of the.
Oh, right, okay.
And just to let you know, since most of you are here and you're directors, we're gonna try to have, because it's very time consuming, and the packet can be anywhere from like 100 pages to 200, 300 pages.
It's on the website, why do you have to mail it?
It's mandated that we mail it to each unit owner. The summary for their particular building, which is.
The summary is all of 4 pages.
No, you have to mail their. I will clarify that, but I believe you have to mail the whole packet for their particular building. They do break it up by buildings. I believe you have to mail the whole summary for their particular building. Previously, we mailed the whole association, but we realized that they break it up by building, so we'll be doing a mailing just for their particular building to the residents to keep the cost of the mailing down.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
I already reformatted it. No, I don't know.
Please note that when we have good and welfare, any resident can come up and will hold the microphone here in this corner and ask their questions. So please wait till that time comes. Right now, it's the time for the delegates.
Yeah, good and welfare delegates.
I have a concern as far as the report that was submitted to us. Our association put on all new roofs 2.5 years ago. Not only did they put on new roofs, but we had an engineer that our president had following and making sure that the work was done properly. Okay, if you were to read the report that we received, the packet, it would not indicate anything about the new roof being put on and it being under the constant watch of an engineer. This is just one of a number of different issues that I have that is not clear, and who the cost is going to, who is going to absorb the cost of anything that this company says that we need.
Can I just clarify, all these questions about the report is an association issue, not Cobrua. So take it up at your association meetings. It was very nice of Leah to explain, but it's not a Cobrua issue. Okay?
Earth.
Stu Stryer, Dorset. I noticed in the Cobrua report all these years, there's a thing on contractors and making sure they're licensed and insured. But we have definitely one and several others that I know of who are unscrupulous contractors. Can we have like a little thing in the paper without their names, just warning people?
One of them was arrested last night.
Again, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, you may want to come to the presentation we're going to have on the 27th as far as the building division. I think you'll get a lot of information from that.
Okay, Regina Apicella, Guilford Association. I wanted to know, we have had reports association by association on rodents, iguanas, rats. Now there's raccoons. I thought that we had a perimeter with all of us. Is that through? It's not through Cobrua? It's not in effect anymore? Huh? Okay, so each association now, we can collectively do something with the parameters of the village when it comes to big raccoons getting in? And if we don't have that, can we put something in effect? Because like iguanas, Guilford could take care of my iguanas and 2 weeks later, they're swimming from Hythe over to say hello. It's really not something there's no borders. Is there anything, or does any of the presidents or Cobrua, is there something we can do? Raccoons invade these buildings. It's something the likes of which nobody wants to see. When they're on the roof and they're peeing down the air conditioning vents, it's really gonna be a sorry day around
Okay,
Century
Regina, I think
Yes.
you may want to consider bringing that up at the next president's meeting. I'll bring it
Okay.
up, okay, and we could all discuss it.
Thank you.
Charlie? Yeah, I'm not sure that it's a president's issue. I think we did have a time when all of the borders of the property did have West's responsibility to keep whatever types of traps were needed were in place. And West decided to stop that. And now we hear there's more rodents, gorillas, tigers, or whatever they are, coming in. Why can we find out why West?
Actually, there is a M&O meeting tomorrow morning, and perhaps Stanley, you can put this on our agenda, and we'll have an answer to the people next meeting.
Martin Fish again from Rexford. If memory serves me correct, is Leah still here? Okay, so if I recall, on the operating budget, there's a line that the individual association pays for. There is a line that says pest control on the perimeter borders. I never really understood what that was. Now Rexford does have a problem in two of its laundry rooms with rats chewing through the, whatever it is. So for those individual problems, we've had to retain an exterminator to put up traps in the building on the perimeter of our buildings. But I'm not sure what the perimeter that we're paying for, but it's in our budget.
I'll verify by looking at not everybody's, but I'll verify. Previously, you did have perimeter traps that most of the associations were paying for around the village. I wasn't the general manager at the time, but when Angie Lane was here, back at the end of 23, all Florida decided to back out of the perimeter trapping. I know Angie was looking into it, but then it became a problem of every association was not included on the perimeter traps. And we also, First Service did not manage every association, so we were unaware that what the unmanaged associations were doing regarding the perimeter trap. I don't know where she left the project at last year, but I know all Florida is no longer doing the perimeter traps, and that was why that line was on your budget.
I think it's still in the budget now.
This year, we left it on for a lot of associations who decided to pay for their rat issue and their rodent issue that a lot of associations were having, and that was being taken out of that line, if my memory serves me correctly.
Okay, because I'll speak to you separately.
And then also, that's now, because it's no longer all the associations going in together, that is an association-specific issue that
Yeah,
We can
so
talk about it.
I'll speak to you separately because we're paying the exterminator separately through Maximum.
Okay, good and welfare residents. I just want to remind you that there's a 2-minute limit, so please maintain 2 minutes.
Okay, last delegate question. Only because I observed this the other day, what's the procedure for when the bus drops a resident off? Are they supposed to allow them to cross in the crosswalk in front of them? Or are they supposed to wait there, the bus goes through? Because I observed, and I spoke to the woman afterwards, she said that particular bus driver doesn't speak English, but usually they do let her cross in front. But what concerned me further is the bus dropped her off, passed through, she's waiting there, there's another bus right behind her that also went. And she's at a crosswalk. So who controls, what's the procedure for letting people off the bus? It just didn't seem safe. Anybody know? Anybody listening?
We'll try and clarify that, but
I happen to ride the buses.
Okay.
And the bus is supposed to wait to let you cross if indeed you choose to cross in front of the bus. When I get off the bus, because I know I'm so slow, and the bus, can move much more quickly, I just wait under the shelter until the bus is gone, and then I cross over. But I have never been on a bus, and I've been riding them now for a couple of years, where the bus driver does not wait to see if the person chooses to cross in front, the bus waits.
Okay, this was in front of Ainsley D, so the
I don't
shelter
know
was
who
on.
the bus driver was, and
Okay.
if you could, tell us who it was and when it was or what have you, we could follow up on it. But my experience has been the drivers have been very polite and very careful about the safety of those of us who ride on the buses.
So they do get the option to cross generally. Her concern, she said she can't communicate with this bus driver. He doesn't speak it. I do know the bus number. I just didn't know who to speak to about it.
Okay.
President Rosenthal and delegates, first of all, happy New Year. Rosenfeld, beg your pardon. And delegates, Happy New Year, and thanks for your volunteerism as officers and delegates. My first question is directed to, through the chair, of course, to the search committee chairperson. We've been told that once the bids reach the association level, that they will be portalized, meaning made available for unit owner inspection. Now, you're having a meeting in a couple of weeks, a 3-day interview. Are the presidents going to be given the actual documents, or is this just a question and answer session? Are they going to be given the bids, is what I'm asking. That's the first question.
Okay, Milt, are you still here? Yeah. Can you respond to that, please?
The presidents will be given the 3 proposals.
All right, so I presume that means that the unit owners will have access to it at that point. Is that correct? Is that correct?
I don't control what they do with it afterwards.
Okay, thank you. My second question goes to the Cobra president, and congratulations on your new, or becoming president again. You gave a financial report, but you never gave the total amount that you've taken in. Can we know that number? How much has Cobra taken in from unit owner contributions?
$1.75.
As I said, we will be printing the year end, which will give you all your numbers. That will be in, let's see, the paper coming out, the February page, it should be in the February paper. And then at the end of the fiscal year, March 31st, it'll be, the new numbers will be in that paper. I don't have anything in front of me right now to answer your
I
question.
understand, thank you. And my final point is, we have the general manager here from First Service. So again, directing my question through President Rosenfeld, why is First Service, who's supposed to be managing all the association's finances, allowing monies to be used for non-necessary purposes? The statute says you can only use condo funds for necessary purposes. And I know of at least two associations, Yarmouth and Rexford, have stated at their meetings that yes, indeed, they use condo funds for holiday lights. Now, they can't do this without First Service writing a check. I want to know from the general manager of First Service why they're allowing this, and remind her that her predecessor may be no longer working here because she did a similar thing with holiday gifts. So could we get an answer from the general manager, please, about why they are not being more careful with our hard-earned condo funds and allowing it to be used for frills?
That's an association matter.
Well, except that there's a common denominator, which is called First Service, whose contract is up for renewal. If First Service is engaging in a pattern of misuse of condo funds, it becomes a village issue. It's not just one association or one president. I named two. I'm sure there are at least two or three more that I could name, like Fanshawe maybe, and Guilford. And I was told by the president of Guilford that this was surplus money. Well, my understanding is no such thing as surplus money. Well, my understanding is that money that is not used in the general...
Excuse me, Fred.
Yes.
Your 2 minutes is
Yeah,
up.
so can I have an answer, please,
Your
from
2 minutes
First
is up,
Service?
Fred.
Can I have an answer from First Service? She's here. It's a First Service issue because she's doing this with more than one association. Can we have an answer, please?
She's coming up.
Yes, I am the general manager of the First Service Office. I also manage 5 associations myself. The concern you brought up today, I was not aware of, and I have to speak to the property manager regarding it. I'm not the property manager for either association, and the day-to-day operations are handled by the property manager.
But who gives them the check to buy these holiday lights and rent bucket trucks?
The association pays each individual vendor. The association pays each individual vendor. Correct.
Fred.
Once again, you just brought this matter to my attention.
Fred.
I know this is an association matter, but since you mentioned... Hello? Since you mentioned Rexford, what is the technical term you're saying? You're saying that money was spent non-essential goods. So according to you, no association can plant a flower in their bedrocks. Being an aesthetic view is an essential thing. We're living in a community and not in some, according to some people, battleship buildings stripped down. I mean, this is part of the board makes a decision on whether the aesthetics of the association should have a certain look. Otherwise, we would tear down every tree, every flower. Maybe we shouldn't mow our grass. I mean, that's it. So, thank you.
The only thing is, Fred, your 2 minutes are up.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm Brighton Sea, and I've only been down here about a week, and I'm a snowbird. So I have a few questions. I was kind of shocked when I parked my car. The fence along the walkway is broken and taped up and disgusting. And when I looked around at all the other entranceways, there were flowers, we have tree roots. So I don't know who's in charge of the aesthetics of each building, but I could not get a hold of my building manager, who's here now, but to bring it to his attention. So that was one problem that as soon as I got in my car. And then secondly, I opened the door and I paid someone $40 a month to watch my apartment, and there were thousands of beetles. So I tried to call.
This is an association issue. So you have
Okay,
to bring it up
well,
first.
what is First Service for? Because I tried to call them for advice. Do we have a exterminator that is allowed to come into our units if we call? Or do we have to go, I got my own exterminator, but I don't know what the policy is.
Ma'am, this is an association
For all
issue.
of us. If all of us have a problem, do we call First Service?
The reason why I'm here now is because a lot of your issues that you bring to Cobrua is an association issue. So if anybody on the panel says it's an association issue, after the meeting, please come up to us individually and speak to us. We are here. I'm the general manager. Alexis Cartwright is here, who, if a lot of you know, Amanda is out having her baby. Her due date was yesterday. She did not have the baby. She still wish she was here working right now. But Alexis Cartwright, a property manager in our office, is also here. So we can say as long as you need us, and we'll handle each association concern, which each resident can tell you how to handle the issue at hand.
So for-
if you say it's an association matter, please just wait until the end and come up to us, okay?
Okay, yeah, but I didn't know what to do. That's the whole thing. I'm new. So I'm asking you, and by thanking you also for your volunteerism, I thought maybe you could advise me.
Ma'am, we have to go forward.
Hi, my name is Mark Fennick from Lincoln. Two issues. We don't control the height of our lake. The river on the side of the turnpike controls the height of our lake. And I thought I read in the Cobrua that the two weirs that we have, one in Lincoln's Lake, one in Heights Lake, ought to be replaced. And my other issue is, I'm wondering why on Gatehouse in Yamato you can't build a residence-only decals gate into this place. I live in Lincoln, so I'm 2 miles every time I leave this place. And to alleviate some of this horrific traffic on Lyons, if you put a decals-only gate on Yamato and Gatehouse, I mean, you have the street built right there. You only need something to go over the water. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Henry Bader. I'm from Guilford. My question is that's more of a recommendation. The Lake Windermere, terrific asset for this community. We have a maintenance section here in the building that gets the water quality tested on a regular basis. It'd be nice if the Cobrua Reporter allocated some space in the paper for a monthly summary of water quality issues that relate to the lake. A second item is last year we had an accident where someone tripped over the blue concrete car stop leaving the clubhouse. And it's dark blue, and at night, when the light, depending on how the light shines, casts a shadow from an adjacent parked car, and that dark blue concrete stop becomes just as black as the asphalt, and he tripped over, messed up his face, and even trying to get him some help, we tripped ourselves without falling over the same concrete block because that dark blue disappears into the black. All you need is a white strip on the top to make it show up under those light conditions. That's it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
John Garzaniti, I'm at the Fan Show, B Building. I'm the president of the Century Village Motorcycle Club. We do have a sanctioned Century Village Motorcycle Club. It's not very large. We have 11 members. None of us have a decal to get through the gate. I've been here 5 years as an owner, can't get a decal. Now I hear and I read that hundreds of decals have been issued under various circumstances for friends or neighbors or workers. And for 5 years, I have not been able to get a decal to go through the gate. I have to wait in line, in the rain, in the summer 90-degree heat, with non-residents to get into the village. Okay, that's not acceptable. If you can issue hundreds of decals to other parties who pay some nominal fee, I'm more than happy to pay that nominal fee. But I can affix a permanent attachment to my motorcycle for a decal. Okay, that's not an issue. Every time I brought this up to the office in the clubhouse, it's a non-starter. They just say, well, we don't do that. Well, that's, after 5 years, that's an unacceptable answer.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Hi, good morning, Deborah Desser in Mansfield. I'm new to these meetings, and so I don't know all the protocols, so forgive me if I overstep. But I feel as a resident who doesn't have a title as either the director or president or the other people here, that I don't have much say. So as a resident of almost 6 years who was non-participating, I would like to understand more. Do you want to print out something that I can read which shows the actual governmental body and how you can get your concerns as simply a resident to the forefront? Because
generally,
I feel that I don't.
Generally speaking, if you retain the Cobrua Reporter, it's all itemized there, and you can read through it.
It shows in,
Yeah.
if I want to be at the meeting for choosing the next management company, am I allowed to be at that?
No.
Someone's saying, of course, but I'm hearing no. So no residents really have any say in this. It's just a select few.
No, you volunteer and you step up and you serve.
Make your voice at the board meeting. You have a board meeting in your association?
I'm sorry, I can't hear this lady while you're all answering. Can I hear her, please?
When the management contract is brought up to your board meeting, that is when you have a voice and have your board votes. So if they're bringing up two companies and they tell you, we prefer this company, you could voice your opinion to your board.
So there are actually management meetings that are just for our one building? Is that what you're telling me?
Not your one building, your one association.
One association. And how often do they happen?
I don't know what yours has. We have one almost monthly. I don't know what Mansfield does.
So I would have to speak to the president of Mansfield.
Yes, well, you can check with Leah in the back. And she'll tell you how often you have board meetings, and that's where you voice all your opinions about Mansfield.
Because I feel like I don't have much of a voice. 10 seconds, I get it. I have a laundry list, but I want to be able to speak to somebody. So.
Hello everyone. My name is Cobrua Delegates. I have a proof. 5 years bank sent money to service. Last year they refused my money. I don't know. I am ugly or my money is not. Just I want answer me why doesn't accept my money.
Hold the mic there. Sir, excuse me. Okay, what you should do is go see Leah in the back about that. Leah, the woman in the back.
Larry Krakow, I just wanted to know what's being done about the fence on lines. The bushes seem to be very scant, and I know you're working on it. I just wanted to know what's the latest.
That's one of the projects that we, all right, go ahead, Sid.
Okay, it's in our budget, and it will be done this year, a whole new landscaping along Lyons Road, so that we fit in with the multi-million-dollar homes that are going in just south of us. But it is all in the budget, and it will be done this year.
Thank you.
Okay. Someone make a motion to adjourn? Meeting closed.
This woman right here, I was the president, the second president right 6 years. This fence has been on order.